Dear chess friends, welcome to your Zad of Chess channel and welcome to another epic match of the FIDE World Cup in 2023 that's going on now in Azerbaijan in Baku. After the thriller that we have seen between Vincent Keimer and Magnus Carlsen, now we're following another important match of the round 4 of this epic chess event. We're following now the match between Rameshbabu, Praggnanandhaa and Hikaru Nakamura. Both of them, Hikaru and Praggnanandhaa, I think, are very motivated to go into the next round, maybe to get their chances to get into the candidates, maybe even to be a World Chess Championship challenger, who knows. But I think for the Indian chess community, it would be a great thing to see maybe a new World Chess Championship challenger. Maybe 3-4 players could play even in the candidates, in the forthcoming candidates. On the other hand, I think also Hikaru very motivated to maybe fit into Magnus Carlsen's shoes, because in the chess community, Hikaru is many times considered maybe to be the best next player after Magnus Carlsen. So I think also seeing Hikaru Nakamura playing again in the candidates would be a great thing for the chess community. But let's see now what happened. They played really epic chess. Let's see what happened in this epic battle between Hikaru Nakamura and Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa. So they had to play first 2 classical games. In these games, the games ended with a draw, which meant they had to play 2 additional games. Now we're in the first additional game. It was a rapid game. The tempo was 25 minutes on the clock plus 10 seconds increment. The first game was already very intense. Without revealing the result, let's jump to the game with the white pieces. Hikaru Nakamura played the move c4. Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa's response was knight to f6. We have knight to c3, e5. We have this 2 knights variation. We have this reverse Sicilian setup. Now knight to f3. We have the 4 knights variation after move knight to c6, and now we have the move g3. Now it becomes really like this reversed dragon Sicilian structure with the move g3. Bishop to b4, very interesting idea. This is now a very often played line, with a threat of course to play bishop to c3, grabbing the knight, doubling up the pawn structure in the c file, messing up the pawn structure, creating structural weaknesses here, also a weak pawn on c4. On the other hand, if you allow bishop to c3, then you're giving up also from black's perspective of bishop here, so it becomes sometimes an intense game after a couple trades of pieces. After move bishop to b4, now Hikaru is not allowing this. He plays now knight to d5. We have now the move e4 by Praggnanandhaa, and now knight to h4 here by Hikaru Nakamura. And what to do? For instance, if you would have played here knight to b4 immediately, this wouldn't be so good. It has been played now a couple of times, but look at this. After knight to b4, again you have to step back with your knight. Now we castle, you play a3, knight to c6, knight takes c6, d takes c6, leads still, I think, into a complicated game for white, because black has this beautiful space advantage with the pawn on e4, and this pawn is supported by the knight and will eventually be even further supported by the rook activity. So you have a tough time to battle against this really strange pawn. You have to play some lines with d3, f3 in some lines. It's, I think, an unpleasant game to handle. Nothing spectacular also for black, but white is many times trying to avoid this line. So that's why here Hikaru played the move knight to h4. Castling was played by Praggnanandhaa, bishop to g2, and now after move d6, already a wild thing happened. Here, the best way, I think, for white is to proceed with the move a3. You have to play this kind of a line because the main threat of blacks here is to play the move g5. After move g5, notice the knight doesn't have any squares to jump, so it's a huge threat. And you didn't play so far the move d3. You never prevented the move g5. So let's see. In order to keep the game active, in order to keep the tension in the game, you have to play now a3. At least you're trying to attack some kind of a piece. Now after something like bishop to a5, you hit the bishop further, the bishop retreats. Now we play bishop to b2. Now of course knight to g5 is not possible because you get knight to f6, but then bishop to d4 here can be played by black, and after bishop to d4, knight to d4, then e3, and then you have to play knight to f5, and I think this would be an equal game for both sides. Nothing spectacular, nothing dramatic would happen. Then of course something like knight to f5, and now after bishop to f5, this bishop would be connected to the pawn on e4, and still black continues of course the game with this very nice pawn, but this idea can be met with f3 later, so it's nothing spectacular. So as I said, here after move d6, you have to play now the move a3. In my opinion, really the best line. But Hikaru went into a wild line. Played now kingside castling. Really wild stuff. In the game, Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa says, okay, show me what you got. And it's still a complicated game. I'm not saying this is losing or something immediately. This line has been played also many times in top GM level. I see Fabiano Caruana Aronian, Caruana, I see Penko, Kramnik, Sadvani, Samuel 7 against Juve and Yun. So many still games have been played, but it seems still to me that this is a risky choice what Hikaru played here. G5 is hitting the knight, and now if you are playing this kind of a line, I think then you have to know the follow-up. And I think maybe even Hikaru Nakamura missed this opening line, maybe even forgot about this line, maybe even just played a huge blunder. He played now simply the move A3, but now it's simply too slow. This idea is not working again. Look at this, you have to play D4. D4 is now prolonging the game. It keeps the attacking flow also here for white. Black cannot play now immediately here g takes h4, because then you get hit like this. Bishop to g5 is winning the game immediately. The knight will be taken, and you have dark mode problems, so it's not working. So in order to keep the attack, you have to play first h6, not allowing this idea bishop to g5. And now after knight to b4, you have to play something like f3. Of course, black takes out now the pawn, but still it's very risky after bishop to h6. And now there are many tricky lines. Really a nice progressive line it is for sure. You have to know really your stuff here. If you don't know it, then probably you should try to avoid it, because there are so many dirty ideas here. For instance, after bishop to h6, you could try rook to e8, but now look at this. Queen to d2, hitting the knight on b4 and also threatening the move queen to g5 is already very devastating for black. So that's why instead of this move rook to e8, you have to play first here e3, locking now this diagonal, not allowing queen to d2. Now after something like g4, now rook to e8 you can play, and still very dangerous for both sides. I'm not saying, but in my opinion here, white should be much better in this part. Sorry, black should be here much better because of the extra piece. So, but okay, after move g5, Hikaru didn't even play this move d4. He played now the move a3, and this is not working anymore. We have seen it worked previously, but now it's simply too slow. Here Ramesh Babu Praggnanandhaa retreated. Now we have d3, and Pragg simply takes. Knight takes d5, c takes d5. Here Pragg retreats. Now you can play, of course, the d takes e4, but now after move g takes h4, here black is up a whole piece. Okay, white has some good pawns in the center of the board that could roll, but still, this is really risky what Hikaru did here. The evaluation is here +2 in black's favor. Really, I'm not sure if Hikaru really wanted to get this position, but something went wrong now in his preparation for sure. So after move g takes h4, now bishop to h6 by Hikaru. Pragg retreats with rook to e8. We have g takes h4, and now after queen to h4, queen to c1. The threat is of course something like bishop to g5, but still this is defendable by the move f6. So Pragg now plays the most important variations, the most important sidelines, keeps everything solid, is not allowing here some wild tactics by Hikaru. King to h1, trying some kind of attack on the g file, but again here Pragg is not panicking. He's simply developing his pieces, trying to regroup. He knows that in one particular moment he will defend the position, but he's not rushing with counterplays. He's just keeping a solid game. Knight to d7, bishop to f4. He fixes the structure around the square e5, bishop to g3, queen to h5, rook to g1. Now there are some maybe attacking chances on the g file, but here Ramesh Babu Praggnanandhaa neutralizes them with the move knight to g6. Nothing spectacular can happen. f4. Hikaru is trying somehow to let this position explode, because still black has some lack of developments here on the queen side. We have bishop to b6 hitting the rook, and now Hikaru plays e3, keeps his rook on the g file and connects now also this pawn, and is trying to let the pawns roll here in the center of the board. King to f7, e5. You see Hikaru is playing now very aggressive chess. D takes e5, f takes e5, but again knight to e5. What are you going to do here? Queen to c3. Again with the idea to keep somehow the pressure here, but it's not working. This is such a powerful knight, and even if you trade off the knight here, then the rook will come into the game. So no support for white's attack. Nothing spectacular is going on. Pragg is playing here really solid chess. Bishop to h3 by Pragg, trying to trade off more pieces, really simplifying the game. And that's how you play chess when you're up a piece. Maybe there are some better opportunities with knight to g4, playing even wilder chess, but who cares? Pragg doesn't have to risk anything. This is maybe the best suggested line by Top Engine, attacking the e3 pawn. But I like also bishop to h3, keeping, as I said, the game simple. Rook to f1, now Pragg trades off the pieces. Rook to g2, knight to g4 comes now into the game. So you see Pragg saw this move, but kept it for the later stage of the game. Knight to g4, d6 by Hikaru. Hikaru is desperately trying to somehow get open spaces, open diagonals, open files against the king, but it's nothing is working. Here c takes d6, what are you going to do? Here queen to b3, again a check, d5. You see, Pragg is keeping here everything glued together, everything really compact. In the game queen to a4, we have rook to e4, queen to d1, and now after bishop to e3, here another pawn is taken. It's simply a game over here, I think, for white. In the game a4, rook to e8, here Pragg is again activating a new piece. This is how we play chess for sure. Queen to b3, and now after move b6, queen to b5, and bishop to d4. In this particular position, Hikaru Nakamura resigned. He is down the piece, and black gained a huge activity. It's not one of those positions where you maybe sacrifice a piece, but then you have the attack. Now I think suddenly things have turned around. Here black is now on the attacking side with an extra piece, so something went wrong, as I said, in Hikaru Nakamura's preparation. So what to say? In the other game that Hikaru had to then win with the black pieces, also Praggnanandhaa won the game because Hikaru played a very aggressive modern defense. Hikaru Nakamura lost both of this additional rapid games, which means now that Praggnanandhaa is now in the round 5 of the FIDE World Cup in 2023. Congratulations to Pragg, really amazing performance, keeping it calm against such a great attacker like Hikaru Nakamura, keeping really his nerves really impressive for such a young player who just turned around a couple of days ago, turned 18 a couple of days ago. Really amazing performance by Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa. And as I said, I don't know where are his limits now in this competition. Maybe he can even win it, who knows. Maybe he can get into the candidates, which would be a great thing to see an 18-year-old playing in the candidates. Beautiful performance by the young prodigy, in my opinion. He's the one that we should follow now in the next couple of rounds. So, okay, I hope that you enjoyed this game. Interesting ideas of the English opening, but we have to say, keep it calm, keep your theoretical knowledge really complex, because many things can go wrong. You see also in top GM level, they're missing their chances in the opening stage. If you want to see some other chess games that we have covered so far here on my YouTube chess channel from this amazing chess event, here are some links of some games. And if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you soon with some more videos, and what do we say? Chess is the best, of course.